My name is Tamara Final. I am 37 years old, married, and have a little boy, William. He is going to be 2 on the 21st. Only child. So I work in a sedentary position. I'm sitting down all day through the day. And we were living in Toronto until about a year ago. We moved back, came back, and decided I need to do something. So my little guy was about 1 when I came, and I'd seen like a real transition in my body, as most moms do after they have their baby. And it was difficult. I was always in shape before. I was always really fit. I prided myself on that. I worked out through my pregnancy, ate healthy after my pregnancy, but just, it is a huge change in your body and not one that I expected. So, before I was going to the gym, I was doing a mix of weights and cardio. I tried to keep that up. You would try and keep just like watch what you ate, but I probably wasn't eating enough through that time, and then just trying to sustain it. And I decided I needed something different. I was getting to the point where I was walking in, and I wasn't really looking at myself anymore. I didn't like looking at myself, and I was constantly looking in the mirror and saying, I hate what I see. So at that point, and my husband as well was on the same path, and we wanted to do something together. We had more help in the city, and we wanted to find something that we could do together that was new together as well. So we joined the Kettlebell Club, and I found it online. I just did an internet search and decided, what's going to be different for me. I'd heard about kettlebells before. I'd done a couple classes, but just in a gym setting. So it wasn't just a structured kettlebell class. I mean, the level of training and instruction was not nearly as intense, and really I didn't get any. So I stepped in here thinking, yeah, I've got a good handle on this. And the very first day, everything I tried to do, Tiz was like it was one-on-one, right? And which was so helpful in the beginning. I learned right away that I'd been doing everything wrong. So yeah, honestly, after my first free week, my husband and I were both hooked. We loved it. It was such a great workout, 30 minutes long. And it was done. And I left feeling like I just worked out for an hour and a half, because previous I was doing about an hour and a half at the gym every day, which is too much and not something that I could sustain with a little one. They also offered, like, the times of the classes were great. The 5:45 is great for me. I work out before work. My husband's, sleeping. My little guy's sleeping. I get my workout done. I come home. We all get out the door, and then my husband's able to work out after work, and it just works with our schedule. So yeah, that's how I found the place. So before I came, at my heaviest, I was about 148 pounds. I see an endocrinologist, so I was, I go for regular appointments, and I weighed myself, and I got on, and they just give you the weight, it's standard. And I just they gave it in kilos, and I was trying to do the math, and I was waiting for him to come in. I was on my phone, and I was doing the math, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like 148 pounds. Like, I came under my husband, I was like, what's going on? And I, never considered myself to be big, but I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. So I actually had a doctor's appointment not too long ago, and I am 125 pounds now. So, and my dress size my pant size went from a 10 to a 6, and I have room in them. So, yeah. But more importantly than the weight, I just feel strong. I feel good. I feel like I have good muscle tone that I've never had before. My husband says to me, like, you've been small before, but you've never looked this fit before. So, and that's his thing. Like, he doesn't want just a skinny rail. He wants like someone that looks fit and whatever. I mean, ultimately it's him and myself, right, that I'm looking good for. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the results that I've gotten here. So my first week here, I do the 5:45 class. So I walked in, 5:45, women's only. We are a crew, and they are amazing women. So I walked in, honestly, a bit intimidated because they're hardcore. Like, they're here every week, like every day, 5:45, but just welcome with open arms. Like, people were so friendly, and I jumped in with 2 feet. My husband and I did a Saturday class first. So, that class, again, just the instruction that I got from, Tiz, and like, she was just walking me through the moves and just walking us both through like how to do things properly. And then that first week, honestly, you want to get where everyone else is. So I think I was you at first you get frustrated, even like all the trainers, like yourself, Tiz, Dean, everybody was, you get corrected. And at first it's just like, you just want to get to the point where you don't need to be corrected. And then all of a sudden I realized that's going to take a very long time, right? Because the moves are intricate, they're fast moving. And on top of like just doing it right to get results, you have to do it right for safety sake, and make sure that you are at the right level. So I can't say enough about the trainers making sure that actually happens. I was sore. I had a hard time walking. Getting out of my seat was very difficult. Thank goodness I work from home, because I would have looked ridiculous walking through the office in heels, like, trying to stumble. But I mean, always in working out, when you're sore, it means it's working, right? Your muscles are working, you're doing things different. And so, yeah, it was sore, but I was here, getting into the routine of getting up and leaving my house at 5:10. And like, do you want to do that? No, I joined in the winter. You don't want to do that even more. It's freezing cold. You want to stay in your warm bed. But I got out there and I got in, and my first week was great. And every week after, and again, like, although you can do it any single time with the class, I think like getting into a specific time that works with your schedule, and like you're working out with that group of people. So right away I fell in line with, I felt accountable to them. Like if you miss a day, they're going to say like, where were you yesterday? Right. So if you're kind of working out all over the time because that's what you need to do, fine. That's what you need to do. But if you have a time that works with your schedule, which usually you do, it's great, to have. My husband's had the same experience, like, because you get to know that group and you're accountable to them. So everyone was super friendly. And you just start to get into it. But yeah, it was a tough week, like really tough week. And I wouldn't even just say the first week. It was a tough month. It's still tough, but I don't want it to get easy. It shouldn't be easy. I never want to leave feeling like that was a breeze, because then I wasn't doing it right. Right. So, that was it. I was skeptical at first. I wasn't skeptical of kettlebells. Like, I've always tried to like educate myself in workouts and just diet and nutrition, so I understood like the results that you could get from them. 30 minutes is tough for me. Always tough for me. My husband's way better with like understanding that, and so like I would always go. I was always a bit of an extremist with workouts. Like I said, I was at the gym for an hour and a half, and like just like when I didn't have any other accountabilities, like a child, I could just do that. And so I would just go, because the more you did, the better you got. And so absolutely, I had to change my mindset totally. Walk out after 30 minutes in a good sweat and a good burn. And I'm not skeptical of that obviously anymore, because I've gotten results definitely. But I do think like if there's any time where you can push yourself a little bit more, for sure, like always do what you can. But yeah, I've gotten a lot out of it. I've had lots of help. I think basically the first time I was doing things and I was doing weights and they were, I was kind of moving right along. I remember Dean came up to me one time at a certain point and he just stood there and he was like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? This weight. And I remember being like, oh my goodness, because I was still like relatively new but far enough along, and he was just like, you can go higher than that, so I just I don't know, like he's like, you can go higher than that. And then it wasn't a choice, just drop the weights, and he's like, here you go, do it, and so I did it, and like I was breathless after it. And then honestly, it was an aha moment of, okay, I'd gotten enough out of the weights that I was doing, and it's just like, you got to move up. Like you're not going to you have to bump those weights up, right? I've had the same experience with Tiz too. Like it's just walk up and drop it and just be like, it looks at you like, it's just ridiculous that you're doing this, right? Like you need to go heavier, right? And to the same token, there's been times where I've gone heavy and my form isn't good, and I've been told to move down, right, until you get that and then move up. So absolutely, like they've pushed me into like do more, and I see them doing that in the class. And then sooner or later you get into this mentality of like, I want to get there, like I want to use that weight, and you have to give yourself enough time. But as soon as I'm doing something like, Dean's explanation of that is like, as soon as you feel you can do more, even if it's one, even if it's two, and you move up, like I have that mentality now. So I try and move a weight in front of me, even if I can get a couple out and do them and then drop down. great, So I mean, Tiz and Dean are my main instructors, and yourself. So, and like constantly pushing the class, like, and which is great, And if you're being pushed to do more, that means that they're looking at you and noticing that you can do more. So try and do more, is kind of my whole theory. And yeah, it's been good. What I like best about the program is just that, again, the amount of time that it takes. That it's it's a class workout, so it's kind of you're pushing each other and everybody, but it's very individualized. So it's all about what you can do and like focusing on just yourself, and like there's nothing that your mind can't wander and running on a treadmill. You're not lifting weights. You're thinking about something else. So you're kind of half-assing it, if I could say half-assing, but like you're watching, you're running on a treadmill in a gym and you're watching TV and you're more interested in the program than like getting your heart rate up. Like you don't have anything to do but focus, because they're quick transitions and it's heavy weight and you need to be prepared to do it. So it just keeps me in that headspace of like only focusing on my workout. I'm not thinking about what I have to do in the day. I'm not thinking about what I have to do in my work day. I'm not thinking about what my little guy's doing. I'm only thinking about kettlebells. And I would recommend it because it's different than just that kind of mainstream gym. It's something that is really going to like push your body to its limits. And honestly, I've found more than anything, like the strength that you get out of it. And I think that in the beginning, that was the communication I got the most. It's not just about, losing the weight, it's about feeling stronger. And you had said like, I'll hold my 2-year-old and he feels lighter. And that's definitely what's happened. So the shape that it gives you and the muscle tone, that's the best part of it. So I would recommend it to anybody. And I mean, I'm lucky enough to not have any like pre-existing injuries, but I have heard a lot of people that come in and where you find that something could like exacerbate it. It's actually not. It's helping it out because you're doing the right thing and you're helping your body. So I've heard that as well too.